bracket just bulldoze their way through. Can you see any other result than 2-0 right now?
I said 2-1, and I really mean that. I think if EG don't get flustered by the last game. Don't do what other teams we've seen earlier in the tournament do. You know, be confident in yourselves and trust your draft, and then just continue like it's the first game of the series. You know what I mean?
I mentioned earlier, Gods, about the whole PBD last year. He learned a lot from the CDEC games, kind of let them have their pick to see what they got to do. I don't know, this doesn't feel the same. I think game to game he doesn't react as quickly as he does like when he has time to prepare. Like if he loses this series and makes a climb back to the grand finals to meet Wings again, then yeah, it's a different ballpark. But right now they did look flustered. They have 10 minutes between games roughly to kind of try and adjust. They probably have a pre-prepared strategy for game number 2, but there was a lot of doubt on their face. Yeah, I've got a minute to go before the draft, Shiva. We've talked a little bit, but let's expand on the Wings draft options because they have such a wide set of options now. What the heck are they going to throw at EG?
That's the trouble, right? How can you prepare for teams like Wings? You don't know what you actually can get. You don't know what they are going to do. So I think for Wings is just, you know, do whatever they are doing. I mean, they're doing fine.
Yeah.
For EG, the only thing that they can do is play their own style because you can't prepare for what Wings is going to do. Even if you know the first 3 or 4 heroes, they might still throw you a curveball and throw you off guard and do something else entirely.
Sorry, Shane. Gods, very quickly. Was there anything in the first draft you think they need to get rid of and not let Wings have?
No, I think you have to prepare draft-wise more for yourselves rather than try and worry too much about what your opponents are doing.
Okay, Shane, sorry.
I completely agree with God. That's what I was going to say. You just can't think about what Wings are going to do. You can't use what you've been using in the past either, because Wings are prepared. They know what's coming up. So you need to...
Let's head back to our draft panel for game number 2.
Reserve time.
Let's do it. It is time for game number 2 of Wings versus EG. We're back at the drafting station here. I got Blitz, I got Merlini, I got Winner, and we just about have a draft, gentlemen. Let's see, what is the approach going to be for this one here? We open up as Wings have already snagged up an Elder Titan with their first pick. EG, they go Mirana, they go Ogre. We await the second grab from Wings. What will be in store for us this time, gentlemen?
Very hard to tell though, Dakota. They played everything, and Shiva asked, how do you prepare against Wings? You don't prepare against Wings, you just deal with it and focus on your own heroes. You can't really know what they're going to play.
Or even what they're going to ban. They changed their bans up completely from game number 1. They banned ET and Mirana in game number 1. Now it's Axe and Faceless Void. I think the Faceless Void is a good call. I'm very surprised they didn't take it in the first phase, but realizing EG didn't have no team fight, especially without the Void. What else is the universe going to play?
Darkseer.
Darkseer's good. I'm down with that.
He might not be happy about it, but they'll put him on if they need it. That's for damn sure. We go back to Wings though and see what they want to typically pair with it, and they're gonna go for a Beastmaster here. He hasn't been like the platinum tier offlaner that we saw like a month or 2 or so ago, but teams still will go back to him just for his utility and obviously map awareness and control.
I mean, I just want to highlight the similarities with the current opening that Wings have. And you compare it to the first game, they had the Rubik Timbersaw. They are entirely different heroes, but they do the same thing. They are very utility-based. They can fit in a lot of strategies. They provide you with very flexible lanes. Elder Titan, you can roam a lot early. Right? Beastmaster is very good in a lot of situations. So Wings are a team that always has a very flexible opening in their drafts.
And also EG, they don't pick up the Wisp early. It seemed like Wings they saw the Wisp and a lot of things became more clear to them. They could pick Enigma, safe lane in the jungle because Wisp can't really punish it. They can also pick a lot of team fight because Wisp also struggles a little bit versus it. And if Evil Geniuses want, they can take it a little bit later. But
I'm sure EG knows about company.
Yeah.
about that. Can't punish the Enigma when they have IO, because they themselves do it all the time. So that was just a very excellent choice of strategy that Wings had in the first game.
Reserve time.
I think for EG, that Mirana is probably the most valued hero they're going to get outside of maybe the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
I think Mirana was primarily the reason why they won that one game against eHome. It's a hero that Chanel is comfortable with. The Aghanims allows you to scale very nicely against Wings Gaming's lineup, and more importantly, unlike the last game, this hero is just good at all parts of the game. Like Sand King, I feel a little bit iffy at some points. He doesn't actually deal that much damage at some point after he gets his ultimate off, but Mirana just has a lot of sustained damage.
Yeah, but the other thing that I want to ask you, Will, is if you are the captain of EG, wouldn't you rather put Sume on, you constantly put Sume on a hero like Mirana? You don't want him to be on like the initiating heroes?
No, I agree with you. I think that going for the Sand King was the wrong idea because when I think of a player like Sumail, especially at TI, you need to put this guy on a playmaker. This is the type of hero that he wants to play. You want to get as active as you can with him and then allow him to, just in case, as your backup, allow him to farm and catch up back into the game. And I think Mirana kind of hits all those check marks. They could be doing something a little bit tricky like they did in the last game where they do something odd like last pick a Storm and force the Mirana into a support role. I know PPD really liked to do that at TI5 where he would draft the Lina mid early and teams would think, okay, that's Sumail's hero. Then they would draft the Storm to hard counter, but I just like the fact that they keep things open for now.
Yeah, like this series has been so far a lot in the draft, like a lot is happening in the draft, how the drafters outmaneuver and lead the enemy to think that, oh, we're gonna do this, but we're actually not gonna do this, and
the
we're gonna do
mind games, man.
Yeah.
The mind games in this draft are pretty ridiculous. This is one of those things, like, I hope to God PPD releases a draft analysis video when this is all over, so he could be like, wow, why Wings are just really, sometimes it feels like one step ahead or just on a totally different planet.
Yeah.
You guys we're talking about possibly something like the Darkseer for Universe, but what about something like Batrider? It's ignored by these two teams, it looks like, through the first phase. Is this something that EG could consider pulling out, or is it a bit risky already against an ETBM?
Wouldn't you prefer Darkseer, Will, with the Ogre so you can roam and pressure?
Yeah, and you're against two melee heroes already, but if you're gonna do that, I would really like to see a melee core out of EG, and instead they grab the Night Stalker.
The vision game, they're gonna limit the Beastmaster's Hawk vision in this game.
But where's it going? Because if it was a duo between, Ogre and Night Stalker, that seems like an awkward melee bruising
I mean, it's
kind
pretty
of
good
duo,
though.
so.
Don't you think so?
They beat Wings in the group stage with a Night Stalker, Universe Night Stalker.
Yeah, offlane, that'd be nice.
I think the vision game is really important, especially for Mirana. If you can just keep it constantly dark, you're almost always just going to get the jump off. Heroes like Mirana really heavily rely on playing around the space game and vision, so you know what you're going to open up to into a team fight, so you know whether it's safe or not to blink.
5 seconds
I think the hero is going to be what they need to kind of snowball into that early game, and it allows you to pressure whatever safe laner Wings picks, almost no matter what, just because Ogre and Night Stalker, they both have high amounts of armor.
Yeah, but they're all very single target. They don't have much T push apart from Mirana.
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah, Wings could just build like into a 5-man lineup, like to just push early.
I mean, I think that's what they're going for. They can even grab something like the Luna.
Yeah, possible with the SD and the Beastmaster.
Yeah, it'd be incredibly hard for EG to really do anything about that.
Even the Terrorblade is good here for them.
Yeah. This gives you a bit concerned that EG, though I like the raw aggression and the capability of nerfing down the vision with that Night Stalker, you don't want to put yourself into a corner where you can't D-push a bit. But that helps. They already know. They're ready for it. Now they're taking the step right back and saying, if you're going to go down that road and try to be very push heavy or split push heavy, we have a Wyvern now to work with. Don't even think about that Terrorblade.
I think Wyvern is the perfect pick here.
Yeah. That's probably the best pick here for them.
Yeah, especially since if you look at Wings Gaming's lineup, there's not a lot of magic damage. When they pick something like the Terrorblade or the Luna, it's gonna already hard counter do well. I still think Wings will go that route because it is so powerful, but it is a decent counter for what's ahead.
They could also just split push with the Shadow Demon. They don't even have to push. Like, they could do like AM, Naga, Alchemist, like any of these heroes that don't have to break high ground but are still extremely annoying to deal with, and Winter Wyvern can't deal with those particularly well.
But which one would you go for in this situation? Which one is more likely to succeed?
Emperor or Naga?
Naga's banned, so I can help you there. But
I don't like Ember because he's not particularly good with the Shadow Demon.
It's 5-man. This is just gonna go down to the 5-man route and the split. You have the good split push illusions if you have level 4 disruption with the Medusa. So he's sort of like, he gives you both things, the 5-man and the split push.
Have we seen Wings do Medusa before? I'm sure they can do it, but
yeah, it's actually pretty good versus the Winter Wyvern too. Because if you curse, like, and you're attacking your teammate, you still hit everyone if they're trying to come on you. Like, the split shot doesn't actually do that much damage to your teammates, and she's very tanky, not really going to get focused down easily.
So do you put him mid this game?
5 seconds remaining.
I think it matches.
Most likely, right?
Yeah. So okay versus Mirana.
If you go for, I guess it depends now. If you decide to put a mid, do you pick another push hero, or do you take something like the Jug in the safe lane just for the healing ward? And
the Jug seems really good, yeah.
And it's not bad. I triple checked. I'm really bad at. but I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it feels like the drafting screen is out there a mile
10
away.
seconds
So I even
remaining.
wore my glasses and I'm still having a hard time here. But there is a ban
5
on the
seconds
Slark there at
remaining.
the end coming out from EG.
Do you think they need some magic damage to deal with the?
And his second appearance on the main stage. The last time he was here, he knocked out OG. Will he knock down EG in the lower bracket?
They have 4 heroes that deal a lot of spell damage.
Man,
That is, I don't think that's
there's a
gonna
big
get
sigh of,
tough.
oh boy.
Guys, I'm just gonna go wings all the way.
And they decide to quickly grab it. Alk has actually had not a win yet on the main stage. I believe he's 0-6 so far.
Wings all the way.
Wings all the way. Good riddance of Alchemist, man.
Dude, I'm sticking with.
You sound so unsure. Like, I want to stay with my boys.
You gotta. Yeah, I'm gonna go with EG.
They even have Shadow Demon on their side. You can even deal
It's
with Al.
EG. They could do what we saw them do at TI. They get knocked down. They come back to CDC and take it home. If that's going to be the case or not, we'll find out soon enough. Let's throw it over to the casters now. It's Draskell and OD.
Thank you very much, Dakota. Indeed, game 2, Wings versus EG. Wings up a game. 5th pick, Andy. They're bringing out the Huskar here in the upper bracket finals. Is it as devastating as a pick as we've seen in other series, or can EG deal with it?
I mean, there's always hope, right, that you can deal with it, but I'm thinking Wings draft is just ridiculously good this game. I'm having a hard time seeing how EG are going to cope with this. They're putting a lot on the emphasis of the Alchemist this game. Sumail's going to have a standout performance if they want to have a shot here.
My goodness. I mean, what is the game plan for EG? Now, picking that Alchemist in response to the Huskar, how are you looking to play this lineup against what Wings have this time around?
I think that you're really playing around the vision control, trying to get your cores farmed. You know, you have this Alchemist who can hit a really strong timing if you get the 25 minutes of farm. You know, we talk about Manta, having the Radiance, the boost travel, the Octarine, stuff like that. If he can get there, then I think that EG are going to be okay. But if he can't, then I think Wings are just going to smother them with their 5-man potential. It's kind of similar to last game, like Wings just have the 5-man pushing potential advantage. Not necessarily as good a team fight, but it's still up there.
And I guess with Wings lineup as well this time around, yeah, they're going to have this kind of earlier push and fight potential, but they've got a Medusa to fall back on. So say things don't go too great at the beginning of the game, they can certainly draw this one out against EG's lineup.
And that's why we emphasize the importance of Sumail having a really good game, because once the Medusa gets to like that 6-slot territory, clearly you're just going to have the situation where, you know, the Medusa is carrying those items much better than Alchemist during the later stages of the game. That's why I need to hit that timing, and here comes the smoke.
Oh, here we go. EG looking to kick things off with a bit of a bang, walking into Fate Beyond. Here we have them. 3 of them beating down Arrow FedEx, and EG will get themselves first look for Fear on the Mirage.
Very good start there. Getting a very important kill and getting Fear off at the start that he wants.
Now, lane-wise, of course, is this EG reading Wings? Is this the way they want to play it? They've obviously taken it down towards the bottom lane, put him in this tri-lane, and they've left up on the top Universe on the Night Stalker. Is this a lane edge for EG?
I don't think that Huskar is very good in dual lanes in general, or even in an aggro try is probably even worse. He's very, very squishy with only 1 armor, and you don't have a lot of points into Inner Vitality and Berserker's Blood to really sustain you in these fights in the early laning phase. So I think it's more Wings understanding that if they do go aggressive on the side of EG, we won't be able to really deal with their heroes. So I think it's a good call to try to dodge.
And in return then, because of that, we feel that up on the top lane, Huskar, he's going to have a good start.
Oh, yeah.
How did they deal with that? Because surely they don't want this to happen. They don't want Shadow to get out of control at the beginnings, because he's going to be very hard for them to slow down.
Well, slowing down the Beastmaster is also not, like, terrible. Stopping it from getting an early book means that you don't have to worry about, like, dewarding. It obviously stops the pushing potential of the Beast as well, delaying Roar. There are a lot of things that it's good to stop the Beastmaster from farming in the early game. But, on the other side of it, Faith Beyond does have Iron Talon, so if stuff really starts to go bad, as it looks like it might here.
Trying to move in again, getting the ball between himself and Fear, so the arrow's going to be hard to hit. Not too hard for Fear though, just moves to the side, gets it in. EG, another kill on this bottom lane too, going the way of Fear as well. So this aggressive tri-lane working very nicely for the side of EG, and indeed they may not be pressuring the Huskar, but they're certainly going to be getting Fear in a very good place in very good time.
It's kind of being stuck between a rock and a hard place now for the safe lane of Wings, because you kind of want to go jungle on the Beastmaster just because it's faster, but the risky run of going jungle is that, you know, PPD and Zai are going to be able to go somewhere else and just cause more havoc, so it's just depending on, you know, what trade-off Wings want to make here.
We can see at the moment PPD already making movements up into the jungle. Zai Working himself to Roach, just trying to get an easy pass to TP out to another lane.
Gonna try to TP.
Universe trying to get himself out and will be fine. Back to the fountain.
I wonder if they had used poison a bit sooner if he would have died there. It would have been very close. Not a guaranteed kill, but a nice attempt there from Wings.
And they'll tag teams out into the lane so the Ogre can start to get some levels with this wave pushed in. So EG reacting very nicely to the pressure that Shadow's putting on the Husker up on the top lane with the help of Wise Shadow Demon. Lane-wise CS, looking towards the mid. The Alchemist, Samael, doing great against Blink at the moment. 18-5, 12-3. The Acid Spray spam harassing the Medusa out of the lane. So Samael certainly having the start that, as you said, he needs to be getting on this Alchemist.
Well, this lane is actually kind of annoying for a hero like Dusa because you don't really want to sit under Acid Spray and try to harass or anything like that. And because of it, the Alchemist will just shove in the lane a little bit faster than you. And he's pretty much doing what he should. Just throw out the Mystic Snake, try to steal the mana as much as you can, and prevent Sumail from really getting, you know, any kind of farm. And every deny against an Alchemist is huge.
And I do like what EG have done here as well now. They've sent the two supports up to the top lane. Fear, he's had a great start. He's got the phase boots. He can handle this Beastmaster on his own now. And now EG can look to put their potential at helping out Universe and making sure they control this lane against the Huskar. But immediately, in reaction, Wings, they're going to play to that play. Send Shadow down to the bottom lane and avoid EG's move.
It's kind of the exact reaction that we're expecting. So Faith Beyond, the first move is he goes to jungle. He says, I don't want any part of this lane anymore. The aggro trailing from EG, I'm not getting anything here. And me getting level 6 at an early point in the game is very important. So that pretty much just sparks EG supports moving away, realizing that Fear no longer needs help against a Solar Elder Titan. And then Shadow says, wait a minute, there's two supports in my lane from EG. I don't want to be here anymore either. So I'm going bottom lane. It's a little bit of musical chairs here in the beginning of game number 2, but it's very important for both teams to get solid lanes.
See, they're coming forward. I mean, if one can get a disruption, maybe they can try and rip at Fear, keeping his distance. To let the ward down, they know what's going on behind the tree line, so Fear should be able to play it safe. We can see trying to close the gap, but Fear just jumping away. And he should be fine, being able to play this safe with the vision that he's got. At the same time, EG smoked up and eyes on towards the mid lane. Seeing if they can get a wrap around onto Blink's Medusa, and it looks like they will. Universe closing in with a Void, Acid Spray out. Zai coming in with a Fire Blaster, Blink out of mana, out of HP. EG take down the Medusa. And the support, BG Zai and PPD, making sure they're in the right place at the right time in this early game.
That was such a nice timing too, because if you look at the courier, there was a lot of stuff on it being delivered to that Medusa, at the bottle at the very least, and maybe the Ring of Bastion will let them think of it.
Look at this, Universe and Zai continuing the journey down towards bottom. Looking for Faith Beyond. Won't be able to quite finish him off there. Couldn't get himself over in time as the lane bottom was being pushed in by Shadow. Mahana couldn't join the fray, but 3 kills for EG. Samael backing up into the jungle, starting to rack up the gold. Getting himself lucky with a few of the golems as well, so the money's going to be there.
EG just making moves. It's first night phase, so Universe really wants to try to contest, you know, at least the Beastmaster as much as you can. Force a reaction out of Wings and make sure that Faith Beyond's not going to hit that very early level 6. Anytime you can delay Beastmaster without committing too much, you always want to try to do that.
Wings themselves down in this lane, again eyeing up EG. Universe and Fear here being backed up as well by Zai. The full 3-man down, and Wings respecting this, they're backing up. Being very careful about how they come out. You can see Zai and Universe looking for a wraparound. As you said, Universe just wanting to utilize this nighttime period as much as possible.
The problem is the Wings ward is doing an insane amount of work for them. They know exactly which direction EG are moving, so they can tell Faith Beyond, you know, move across the map, go past mid, go farm the top camp, so that way you're not going to die. And at the same time, they're all staying safe under the tower. So EG are actually wasting quite a bit of time here. Really, really good ward placement there from Wings.
Just whilst this goes on, up top, PPD's actually getting a good bit of XP on the Wyvern, so see good progression. It's going to be mid lane where the focus is. Universe trying to go on to Blink. TP coming through, actually not going to make it here. Would just be Faith Beyond coming across. EG trying to dive in deep. Universe low on mana. Not got
no roar.
Such, but they'll block off Faith Beyond. Still Blink trying to help out the Beastmaster. They'll turn in with Samael and they'll take another. EG really amping up the pressure in this early game. Samael with the medallion complete as well very early on. It's certainly going at the pace that EG would have hoped for. And Wings themselves struggling to deal with it. And soon, you know, PPD with this space, he's going to have a very early Winter's Curse. And at the bottom lane,
Solo kill.
Hang on. Killing a Huskar on his own. Things are falling apart for Wings. And I mean, Fear, he's 3-0-0. This is This is a perfect start for EG. I mean, what do Wings do in response to this? What are they waiting for themselves?
They just need to make sure that they keep the vision down that they already have. That's very helpful for them at this point. And just try not to give away too many more picks. Night phase is going to be ending really soon. And that should give Wings breathing room to be able to, you know, start to recover. And more than anything, I think that Blink is going to need to skill his ultimate soon. Because if they're prioritizing him that heavily and going for aggressive dives, you really want to make sure that you have Stone Gaze to be able to react to it.
I mean, with the Huskar pick as well, you know, Wings, I mean, dying like that solo to a Mirana, Shadow really can't afford for that to be happening. Still working his way, of course, towards Armlet. They're coming back into lane, but Fear getting a lot of farm. Samael as well, so the out... How do they deal with this out as well? Because surely there's going to be a point where Samael can just frontline in these fights. And Wings, they're pretty much going to have to blow everything onto Samael to kill him at this earlier stage of the game. If they just don't have the lockdown until Fabian... Okay, he's got the Primal Roar now. They're actually going to look towards the bottom, trying to stop EG, who have 3 heroes down here. They're looking to maybe make a play onto Shadow. PPD leading the way, zoning back Shadow, but Ice with the stop, catching 3 with a sleep here. And they'll focus Fear first. Roar out from Fabian. Mirana's out of the fight. PPD and Zai have to back. But here we go with the Earth Splitter, forcing him to split. PPD walks back into it though. PPD is going to go down almost certainly. He's got a cold embrace. But Shadow, Fabian standing there, the Burning Spear stack up, the Wyvern's down. Melting to the flames of Shadow.
That Earth Splitter placement was amazing from Ice. He's like, you want to walk down the ramp, you're going to eat this no matter what. If you go to the right, you're dead anyway. Those are the kind of Earth Splitters with no setup that the very experienced other Titan players are able to throw out. That was so good.
Wings trying to get a bit of a kick into the... They required. Mid lane Blink, getting a bit more space, but still Samael, of course, with the stacks that he's had in the jungle backing up. Farm is looking very good for the Alchemist.
He's already got Solar Crest. I mean, if you think about the way that he's itemizing in this game, it makes a lot of sense. You look at Huskar, you look at Medusa, even Beastmaster, these heroes, they want to right-click you. It gives you armor, and it's flat armor, which is great against the other Titan as well. Wings do not have a tremendous amount of magical damage at this point.
Oh, yeah, these Hawks from Fabian doing wonders. And Baby's out of there. The Hawks are spotted it all.
Player.
They were saying in the draft that this game, it's going to be all about the Beastmaster Hawks and eventually Universe's Aghanims Night Stalker. Both teams are going to have very good vision, but of course at the moment, Wings have the edge. He was trying to set up onto Universe to allow Shadow to come in, but Universe already out of there. Zai as well to back him up. Blink actually going to join the push up top. He's now got a point in Stone Gaze. Wings with the 4-man, ready to push in on the side though. Ice. Taking a bit of a beating from Zion Universe. Not quite enough to stop Wings from moving in up top. And EG looks like they're happy just looking for things elsewhere. Mid lane PPD again. Trying to get what he can on the Wyvern. At bottom lane, the pressure being piled on by Samael and Fear. Fortification will come out, but it looks like EG will be able to find a tier 1 down bottom. At the same time, Wings looks like they will get the tier 1 in trade as well. Fortification comes out, and in fact, no, EG, they want to try and defend the tier 1 top. So they take the tier 1 bottom. Want to make sure the Wings don't get away with this. It looks like they still will. Shadow claims the tower, but EG might be able to fight into this one.
They got Kurtz.
Moving forward, we'll see how they set this up. Fireball comes to Shadow. Blink gets the Stone Gaze off. This is going to make it very hard for EG to fight into. Samael is frozen up.
There's no damage.
PPD indeed just tickling them at the moment, of course, in this earlier stages. And Wings still deciding that they've got to back the Fire Blast onto Y. Universe boy off the Shadow Demon. He'll defensively disrupt himself. Shadow jumps back in, but the curse is out, holding it in place.
That
not going to be able to get any kills at the moment. The Earth Splitter onto Samael. Oh, and Shadow to get the Alchemist focus of it. Samael can't get himself out of that one. Shadow, though, still ticks down. The Ignite actually killing the Huskar over time. I mean, this Huskar dying in very strange ways for a man that has a fair bit of magic resistance.
Man, just imagine if there was at that fight, that would have been so much better for EG. He threw the Moonlight Shadow out, and it didn't even look like Wings had detection, but they still managed to walk away with a victory there.
I mean, as we were seeing earlier, this Elder Titan, he is doing absolute wonders in these team fights at this stage of the game. Just
those stomps, just on point, like Ice.
Splits, Ice.
Between him and Faith Beyond, these two have done a tremendous amount, even though Faith Beyond died a few times. Just the overall vision game he's providing for Wings is doing a lot of work here, especially with the kind of build that the Alchemist is going. You know, clearly he wants to be that frontline hero a lot earlier. He's not going for the Radiance build. And with that kind of itemization, you want to be able to control the map, and you want to be, you know, with your team fighting. So, bottom lane here, EG with 2. But there are wards everywhere.
They really are. Wings very well aware of the movements of EG. EG in turn, they'll be aware of the movements of Wings if anyone comes around in the mid. Maybe where EG look to focus their pressure next. Blink on his own for the time being. Few of Wings did TP down to the bottom lane as well. Let's see how heavy EG want to go in on this push. In fact, Wings are going to be the ones to make a play. Smoke up from Y, Faith Beyond. Moving out at the same time, the wraparound from EG is looking for the mid lane fight. Eyesight's going to be the focus to die. Universe moving out to the other side. He's fairly beefy. It's going to take a bit of a while to bring him down. And they might not get it because Faith Beyond comes in, chose the trees. Eyesight with the stop finally goes down. So EG will get the kill. Looking for Shadow, jumps across onto Zai. Zai, corner breaks for PBD. Zai is going to live throughout this one. A defensive disruption onto Shadow. Shadow turns towards the Wyvern. PBD forced back. Samel chasing down Husker, but he can't quite finish off the kill. Shadow getting low. Zai, Fire Blast. They need a start. There they have it. Expulsion for Samel. They find themselves a third kill in this engagement. Fear, Universe, dancing around the back lines.
Everyone's so low.
And it looks like they will get out. Fear jumps away. But again, EG are the ones to come out of these team fights. And it just seems like Shadow on the Huskar is not able to get as much as he would hope done. As he is dying every time.
As soon as he goes on a target, you know, there's a cold embrace, and he just gets medallion used on him. He becomes incredibly squishy at this point in the game. You know, having an armlet and an ogre club is alright, but when you don't have any armor, you just get chunked so hard. Very rough for him during this game. He's really relying on his teammates to be able to back him up, and even with the defensive disruption we saw, it didn't really matter much. Stomp here is going to whiff. But yeah, EG looking really solid here in game number 2 so far.
Wings now, at this stage, when you're losing fights like that, is it just a case of holding back a little bit? I mean, EG, they're the ones to start these fights. It seems very hard for Wings to react. As you said, just the plays between kind of PPD, you know, dancing around these fights, and Samel being able to move in and out with the Armlet, the Solar Crest, and the Chemical Rage regen. It's making it very hard for Wings to get the targets that they look for at the start when the jumping is there from Shadow. And EG, they're coming around from the
Rage is wearing off.
To fight, the split, it's going to connect onto Samel, the hold embrace is there.
Oh, what a curse.
Again, PPD with the save, Samel turns around, punching into Eyesight. Eyesight just about ready to live, no get Samel with the Stargate time, coming in, looking to clobber down the other time, but Eyesight's going for the TP. Fire blast for Zai says no. They'll find a killer return, but Zai pays with his life. Wings the ones to find the successful fight this time round. A great way for them to start, getting Samel out of the fight at the beginning and allowing them to follow through. Universe, he's looking for some kind of cleanup kill. He was thinking about going for Faith Beyond. The presence of Blink and the others will hold him back. Fear, see if he can find anything here. Arrow come out for Faith. Really getting blocked by his own creeps into it. Fear can't find the connection.
These fights are just so chaotic between both teams. It feels like Wings, they obviously want to try to 5-man. Oh, dunk here. Fear's gonna leap away.
Dire's middle tower
But this is something that Faith Beyond's done in the past as well. Like, he likes the Vlad Rush builds with his Beastmaster because you're already providing such a strong attack speed aura. There's no reason to not get the armor or the lifesteal on top of it. It's just very nice when you know that you're going to be grouping up as 5 and you really want to try to, you know, boost that Huskar into a position where he's not feeling so weak against like the Solar Crest and the armor build of the Sumail's Alchemist here.
Ooh. This is, yeah, this build for Samel with the Shadow Blade.
With the crest as well. It's a very easy Roshan for them to take.
And Samel, with that Shadow Blade, is he going to go for
Oh man, Wings just barely missed a scan. They thought they were going for a smoke, but now they're coming in. They know what's happening.
They're going to try and contest it here. Earthsplit has just come back online. EG taking it down to about third health. Arrow connects onto Shadow there. They can't afford to lose the Huskar at the start of this fight. It's a defensive disruption from Y. Shadow now jumps in onto Fear. Fear leads away. The Witch's Curse for PvD holding Shadow in place. The Wing's still there to help out the Huskar. Turning towards Universe. He's got it back. The Flaming Spear stacking up. Cold Embrace from PvD. Behind Universe comes time. Still has the Stone Gate to stop. Onto Universe. The Stone Gate comes out. Samel going to get frozen here. Universe trying to get back to the pit for the Mystic Snake. Takes it down. Samel trying to find out. It's the arrow. Connects with the fake beyond the Huskar. Shadow beats into Samel. Chasing down from more now. Fear has to leap away with the stop. From Eyesight. Gets that PPD. And win the Rose fight. They'll head straight
This
into
is
the pit.
free road jet.
It's absolutely huge for Wings.
Man, their team fight coordination is just off the charts. An arrow's gonna land here, but it does not matter. Wings secure the Aegis for Shadow.
Oh my god, what a fight for them to have there. Everything went right for them. EG, they tried to go for the play. PPD desperately trying to save his team.
Watch what happens here. The stun Sumail, he really wants to throw it out. He knows that Innocence is coming in for a disruption, but he stuns himself. At this point, they have to use the curse defensively. There's no damage output on Shadow at all. He's able to disengage from the fight, and now all of a sudden, Universe is just in this horrible position. This Cold Embrace onto Universe pretty much sentences him to death, more or less. And you can also see that Faith Beyond gets the roll at the exact same time as Sumail, which unfortunately, he's facing the Medusa. So all of a sudden, there's another disable on him, and he just gets shredded after that point. Amazing teamfight coordination coming out from Wings. They're going for the tier 1 here in the bottom lane. And as it stands right now, EG, they just have not had the response in the last couple of fights.
Yeah, and we're just seeing how well the synergy is there between Wings' heroes. You know, having that Elder Totem with the Stomp set up into the Stone Gaze. And even just having like the Aura as well, just allowing Blink on the Medusa to chomp through the lineup that little bit easier. 18 minutes in. I mean, Alk, of course, Sumail, he's top of the net worth, but he's only 1k ahead of Blink's Medusa, and that not necessarily as far ahead as you want to be at this stage of the game. But obviously, Sumail, he's not really going for the farming build, he is going for the fighting build, so you're not going to have that progression as much.
He's 0-3 with the fighting build. Like, with this build, you're supposed to be incredibly tanky, be the frontline hero that your team needs, make heroes squishy with the Acid Spray combination, with the Crest, and just get kills. But it's not working. So because of that, he's being crippled a tremendous amount. This build does not flash farm very well in comparison, obviously, to the Radiance build. So the recovery rate of the Alchemist is going to be slowed dramatically. And in that time, you know, Blink, he's getting closer and closer to that Lincoln Sphere right now. He's only about, 1,300 gold away. I just got to give all the credit in the world to Wings. They are playing this game just unbelievably well.
They are playing like a team that certainly deserves a spot in the grand finals here at TI6. Wings ready for looking for another fight, immediately just jumping onto side. They'll take Ogre. Nothing else to come of this one. A free kill nonetheless, and with a man down, Wings could look to put pressure on elsewhere, onto the side of EG. Ready to go down the mid lane at the same time. I mean, you can see Blink on Medusa just forcing up on the top lane. They'll try and jump into him, but Wings, they're moving over. The arrow's going to miss. Blink tanking this all up. He's got a Stone Gate available. He can't kill him off there. They'll see now if Wings can close back in onto this. Universe, Fear, and Sumail being split apart behind the tower. They have to scatter as Wings come in full force. Fear continue the plays from last game, just cutting the creep wave, making sure that Wings can't get a push on here on the top lane. But Wings, they'll quickly just turn their attention towards the mid. Big item pickups coming out. Blink with the Lincoln Sphere dump, making it even harder, of course, for EG to react to this Medusa. We saw that where Blink could go out on his own and they just can't kill him unless they have the full side of EG ready to fight. And mid lane Wings, they'll take a tier 2. EG unable to stop this play from happening. EG need to kind of regather and regroup themselves and come up with a game plan. We can see that the Universe pretty much has the Aghanims done. I mean, how much is this going to change the team fights having the Axe on the Night Stalkers?
Having the extra damage output could be enough to actually result in a kill. And that's really the thing that they're struggling with the most. It's like they go on one hero, gets disrupted, Fear, going for the leap TP. Looks like he'll be fine, but the Mirana Eggs also does something else, where if you look at Wings' lineup, they're not really the greatest at pushing out waves until Medusa starts to get, crazy amounts of farm and split shot, and obviously the Mystic Snake will be able to push out waves. So you can maybe look to that and say they can split up the map a bit, EG, and force Wings around and not be able to just get to the base and start looking to siege, because once they get there, getting that Beastmaster Vlad's plus Inner Beast is great.
Axe on Fear, Axe on Universe. Let's see how this changes the tide of the fight. It's EG looking to lead in with the Moonlight Shadow, so they can focus first. Shadow Demon's incredibly pesky, but it's going to be the concoction onto Shadow. I've lost onto Faith Beyond. Arrow connects off the Huskar as well, but Blink, he's building the Stone Gate so that EG can't jump in onto Shadow. It's the Earth Splitter coming through. It's going to land on the PPD. Corner Breaks is going to keep it alive for the time being, but Shadow will just start to stack up the Burning Spear, so PPD will go down. Just a 1-for-1 at the moment. EG still keeping their distance away from Wings. Wings having a roar still. And of course, Huskar ever ready with the jumps. If EG decides to come back in, Universe has got to be careful, of course. He's got Gem. can't afford to lose that Sumail. Again, looks to Shadow, Solo pressed down as well. Do they have the damage with the tower coming in? They'll take him. He's got Aegis, he's going to be back for round 2. Roll for play behind onto Fear Marauder. Can he get out? He does! Fear jumps down, keeps himself alive. Eyesight time taken down at EG. They're turning this one. Fear does still fall. Sumail needs to kill Sumail, but he can't! The Huskar looks to be too strong at this stage for the remaining members of EG to deal with on this top lane. As Wings take a tier 2 and Shadow will be very happy to jump on either Zai or Universe if they come too close for comfort. Wings ready to push in on this top lane. EG with just 3 men alive. Let's see how they can stop this. PPD coming forward. Shadow. Spear down. Forces him back. Wings need to make sure they don't throw this one away up on this push. Link's rather low on mana. Good low in the tank.
Oh, good curse.
That's a free kill there. Unless the Shadow Team of Destruction comes out. They'd be adding...
Oh, Zai's going to dig.
Total visions onto the Beastmaster. Pains with his life. PPD in the tree line. Taken down as well. Wings baiting EG out. Taking them down. An arrow connector of Fear onto Blink. It's going to be buyback from PPD. EG, they need to do something big here. Looking to the Shadow Demon, but Innocent, he's not going to fall. Blink onto Fear. EG are crumbling on this top lane. Sumail.
Good game.
They tap out 23 minutes in. EG pull it. And Wings are your first grand finalists here at TI6. Taking down EG in the upper bracket finals 2-0 in absolutely incredible fashion.
Unbelievable. They played this game so well. In the beginning, it looked like EG had a really solid laning stage. Sumail's going for this mid-game centric build. He went for the Solar Crest, he went for the Armlet, and EG look a little bit at a loss right now, and I don't blame them, man. Ice, especially on his Elder Titan, good God.